There are people who are standing back and letting others stand up for them. The reality is we all need to stand up or these programs go away. The opportunity to serve disappears. The capacity building support, gone, zero. We need to stand up now and have a voice.
We have a responsibility as Americans to be there for each other.
We need to have a robust service commitment in this country. We need to grow the opportunity for our community members to give back. We need to grow the capacity for every member in our community to give back. When we take that away, we're taking away the opportunity for principals to have volunteers come into their community because they don't have time or the resources to have background checks. These are real impacts. So we want students to have one-on-one tutoring if they need it. We need our at-risk students to get the resources that they need so that they end up in college and not prison.
These is getting people actually to invest in themselves, invest in their communities, and we have an army of people who want to go out and do that, but then we have to fund these organizations to gather them the tools to go in and fight these problems that are persistent.
I talked to a man the other day who said his foster child had actually gotten him out of his wheelchair and got him walking again. And I've talked to a woman who said the very meager stipend they get from their work helps her to pay for prescription drugs. I talked to another woman who said this work helped her get up in the morning, kept her out of the nursing home.
This is not just dollars and cents. These are people, these are individuals, these are lives that we're touching.
One person I met through my street outreach program, when I first met him, he was a drug dealer on one of the shadier streets in our city. He didn't have stable housing, he hadn't graduated from high school, and he really didn't have anybody in his life that he could depend on. So after a while of seeing him week after week on street outreach, I started connecting him to some different programs in the city. He's getting his GED, he's in a nursing training program in affiliation with that, he's applying for jobs. I mean, I've seen this kid in a suit after weeks of seeing him in just a hoodie with something in his pocket. It really does make a difference.
It doesn't take a lot, relatively speaking, to get these kids on the right path. It's a good investment. Now we have someone who has graduated from college, saw the benefits of service and provided those services to other individuals, and we're going to be a very productive citizen.
It's not a Democrat issue, it's not a Republican issue, it's an American issue. America was built by Americans helping Americans.
This is the most crucial time for anyone who believes in service to engage in the political process. Service is in danger of being gutted, being sent back to zero.
I think the elimination of these national programs mean that the thousands of kids that are benefiting from these tutors are not going to get that additional help. They're not going to do as well in school. They may not graduate. You know, that turns into a host of other problems.
We have hundreds of thousands of seniors who will not receive Meals on Wheels across the country. We have hundreds of thousands of students who will not receive their one-on-one tutoring or be in a safe place for after-school programming. We have parents who will not be able to take their kids to daycare because foster grandparents won't be serving in their daycares, making work unaffordable and unachievable for them.
There is a cost of service in America, but the cost of losing service in America is so much greater. It just makes no sense. Economically, it doesn't make sense.
If AmeriCorps went away tomorrow, there'd be a lot more people unemployed, particularly young people who are already having trouble finding jobs. I think as these organizations disappear, it puts more pressure on the ones that already exist and it overburdens them, and so it really has a tremendous ripple effect.
Our elected officials have a critical choice to make now. They can support the Corporation for National and Community Service, and they can support the opportunity for young, inspired people to serve across the country. Or they can choose to cut funding, which means cutting over 100,000 jobs of engaged, committed Americans who want to serve their country.
I can't imagine my life without having the opportunity to serve my country. I can't imagine who I would be without having that chance to touch another life. I've had dozens of young men and women, ages 12 to 21, that I've worked with, that I've gotten to know, and I know I've had some measurable impact on them. Without the funding for me to be involved in AmeriCorps, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, I could have done something, I could have found something to do, but would it have been the life that I now know? No. Would I be the person I am today? No. Would those dozens of young men and women that I've worked with be where they are now? No.
It is extremely important to let your member of Congress know the importance of these programs. They have to know what is going on in each of their communities, how their constituents are benefiting from these programs.
Our elected officials have choices to make, and I invite them, before they make these choices, to come out and serve with their seniors and helping fill up cars to bring food to shut-in seniors. I invite them to come out to our community centers and see how seniors are working with elementary school kids running after-school programs. We're making a difference, and we invite you to come out and join us to see the difference.
This is the time to raise your voice. If you support service, write your congressman, call their office, write a letter to the editor. We need your voice.
The time is right now to really fight hard for the funding that these organizations need to go on to make our community strong.